Okay, this is the Chinese crown knot when I'm sitting down doing long sentence and stuff. I usually do mine in a different position of sitting down. Anyway, you put it in a cross and you label them 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to take number 1 and put it over number 2. Number 2 is going to go over number 3. Number 3 is going to go over number 4. Number 4 is going to go through the loop that we created with number 1 going over number 2. And then you tighten your cords up. And it starts to make like a little box. So then we take number 1 over number 2, leave a hole. Number 2 over number 3. Number 3 over number 4. Number 4 goes through that loop, or the hole that number 1 left. And then you tighten your cords. I'm sorry my hands are in the way, but it's just a little easier to be up on the knot. Okay, so we're going to take number 1 over number 2 and leave that hole. Number 2 goes over number 3. Number 3 goes over number 4. And number 4 goes through that loop. Sorry that the camera is jerky because I keep bumping it with my arm. So I tighten all the cords like that. And then I go, number 1 goes over number 2. Number 2 goes over number 3. Number 3 goes over number 4. And number 4 goes through that loop or the hole or whatever you want to call it that number 1 left. And then you tighten again. And then you take 1 over 2, leave the hole, 2 over 3, 3 over 4, and 4 through the loop. On the end. There it is. Like so. I'm going to unpin it and show you what it looks like when there's weight on it. And that's Chinese crown. So I've got this piece that I've already started working on. I'm going to make a Chinese crown knot. I have my 4 bundles set up like so. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is going over 2. I'm leaving a little spot here. 2 goes over 3, 3 goes over 4, and I'm putting 4 through the hole. And I'm bringing it down like this. Sometimes you have to pull individual cords because I'm using 4 cords at a time. So number 1 goes over number 2, leaving a hole. Number 2 goes over 3, 3 goes over 4, and 4 goes through the hole, and you tighten it down. Takes a little time to adjust now and then. Okay, so number 1 goes over number 2. Number 2 goes over number 3. Number 3 goes over number 4. And 4 goes through that hole. Like that. 1 goes over number 2, 2 goes over number 3, 3 goes over number 4, number 4 goes through the hole. This is not super tight, but I'll do one more. 1 goes over 2, leaving a hole. 2 goes over 3, 3 goes over 4, and 4 goes through the hole. And we tighten. Let me push it down a little bit. Okay, so you have this when you get done. It's the same thing, it's just I've got 4 cords instead of 1 each. Alright, I've already attached to the pole with lark's head, and I put a square knot below each bundle. Then I took a filler and a knotter and a filler from adjacent or bundles that are next to each other, and I made a square knot. So I'm going to alternate back to the original ones. So I take these 2 and these 2, and I make a square knot. And then I take these 2, and then the 2 adjacent to it, I make another square knot. And then I have the final 4, and I make another one. Okay. They're all fairly even. So if I'm going to make another row of alternates, I'd take these 2 and these 2, so it's even with this one here, and then I would take these 2 and these 2 and make another one, and it would be even with this one. So I'll just do it real quick. Okay, so then I alternated again to 2 instead of 3, and then if I'm going to do it again, I take these and these and these, and I would make another set of 3 across. And this is mainly for if you're doing a major wall hanging and you have a lot of knots going back and forth, just alternating back and forth. And a lot of them will actually be only like an inch down from instead of 2 inches. This isn't really a knot, this is a design feature. Sort of like the alternating square knot is a design feature because you already have you've already got square knots in it, and it's just how to use a square knot within a piece. This is called the 8-cord knot. It's actually just an 8-cord design. Okay, so I have 2, 4, 6, and 8, and I've already put them on my rod with lark's head. So I'm going to take these middle two here, and they are my filler cords. You're going to make square knots on the filler cord. So you take the first two inside and you make a square knot. And then you bring these down, make sure they're just right. Okay, so now you take the next two and you make a square knot again. I don't pull all the way up for each knot because you want to have it show definition between them. And then the last two, like this. And you would do this over and over again, all the way down to whatever your stopping point is. But I've noticed that when I continually use, let's see, this would be the beginning one, then this would be, my knotters are going to get shorter than my filler cords. So what I would do is I would use all my knotters as a filler cord, use my filler cords to make a large knot down here at the bottom. Try to keep the cords in some sort of order so that the last ones used will become the new filler cords. Like this. This is the Josephine knot. It takes a little time, a little practice to get it going. You take this side, or it could be that side. Make a loop with the tail coming down. Take the other side, goes over both parts of the loop, under the tail of the loop. Try not to pull too hard on it because it'll get out of the way here. Okay, goes over the top part and under the top of the loop. Pull my cord. And then it goes over our cord that goes around, and then under the bottom part of the loop. And then you have like a double figure eight, or just a figure eight with two different cords, and then you tighten it up. Yeah. It's a little difficult to get it tightened. That's a Josephine knot, sort of. Tighten that. Okay. There we go. That's a Josephine knot. We'll do another one. So I make a loop. I take this one and it goes over the top, goes underneath the tails of the loop, goes on top of the tail, on top of the first part, under the top of the loop, on top of the right hand cord, below the bottom cord, the bottom of the loop. And then you tighten it up. And there's another Josephine knot. So say that you are wanting to start a piece and you don't have a metal ring or a wooden ring or anything else to indicate where your center is, where you can start your piece. So I'm going to pretend this is my center. After I've gotten all my strings all squared off, I find my center. You can pretend it's the loop. Okay. I go ahead and tie off my center. Now this first one, you would take, now you have to remember that there's going to be more than 4 cords here. So I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to pin it down, and I'm going to use this whole bundle. I'm going to have one knot on each side. There's going to be probably about 8 cords here, maybe more. No, 8. So there will be 6 cords and 2 knotters. So then I will make square knots all the way up to our center spot. And I will probably make about 3 inches worth. Okay, this represents my 3 inches. This represents my 3 inches. I'm not exactly sure if it's full 3 inches or not. So then I turn the thing around. I think I'll undo it first. And I can pin the first square knot and take this center piece out. Okay. So this is my center point. Now I'm going to take these 6 will be my filler chords, and these 2 will be my knotter chords. But since I went right over left for the first part, I'm going to go left over right. And I'm going to do that for about 3 inches. Let's see how many I need. 1, 2, about 8 of them total. And I'll come back when I have them all ready. Okay, so I finished the 8. Now I'm going to unpin it, and I fold 2 together, and I'm going to go ahead and pin it again because this is a little awkward. I will take the bottom 2 here, and I will use the whole bundle as the filler chords, and I make a square knot that goes right up to the folded part of the 2 sets of square knots, and unpin it, and I have a square knot ring. Now that's the first way to do it. So I've already figured out that this is the center of my bundle where I would normally put a ring. And I'm going to take a length of cord that I hope is long enough. It looks like it's probably about 1 yard And I'm thinking that I'm going to need 6 inches, 3 inches here and 3 inches here, and I'm going to pretend that I need 16 square knots. So I put my length of cord in, and I find its center, and I just make a little knot like this, just like tying your shoestring without having cord between them. So I'm going to start it here. Now that's representative of my first half knot. Where is this piece? There it is. Okay, so that's a half knot. I'm going to come back and finish the half knot into a square knot. And I'm going to pin it like this. Okay, so I need 16 square knots. I need, 15 more. I'm going to take this center one out, since I know how many knots I need and what the length is, so I don't need this center anymore. And I will, okay, so I didn't make a whole 16. I made 14. That's close enough. So then I go ahead and unpin, and I take the ring and I fold it in half, and I'm going to go ahead and pin it down again. This is just tacking it down. Then I take the end of my my length of cord, and I make my square knot again. Like that. And I unpin it, and there's a square knot loop again. And these two here, like if a pattern says, okay, go ahead and make a gather, you can include these in the gather as well.